Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where we talk about all things movies. Welcome especially if you're new. If you love talking about movies and staying up to speed on what's in theaters and what's worth checking out, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of my reviews. Alright, with that, we're here to talk about The Black Phone. I just got back from seeing it in the theaters, so let's discuss. And to begin, we'll start with a synopsis. After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. My anticipation level going into this film was actually higher than I would think, given that it's a horror film. I don't generally look forward to horror films, but one of my good friends, he's been looking forward to this movie a lot, and so that put it on my radar. And the trailers for it looked interesting, and then that coupled with I think a week or a few days ago, I was on Rotten Tomatoes and noticed that it was at 100% after like 28 reviews. Granted, that may have gone down, but so kind of all that combined made me like actually looking forward to this film and hoping that it'd be a horror film that I'd enjoy. I generally don't like them, but there are a few that I do like. So with that, let's get into my thoughts on this film. Up first, I'd like to talk about Ethan Hawke. I thought he did a really good job of going back to the term used in the synopsis, the killer. So I thought he played the part really well. He's very creepy and definitely comes across as a psychopath, and it's interesting as the film goes on. You're kind of trying to figure out that character, and it was great to see him on the screen. Definitely very menacing and a believable like villain for this film. Next up, we have the two kids. I'll refer to them as their character names. We had Finn or Finney and Gwen, and I thought like these two are why this movie works, in my opinion. Or they were at least were the make or break. Like Ethan Hawke was great, but you kind of know that he's gonna be great. But if you cast the wrong child actors in these two roles, in either of them, I don't think this movie works. But both of these actors did such a phenomenal job, and I bought in immediately that these were real kids. I didn't just see kids acting and doing kind of a fine job. No, they sold the part, and they are what drew me into this movie. So, and it's their relationship too, the brother and sister bond. It's very tight between the two of them, and that certainly drives the story as it plays out. So I thought the story overall was really good. I liked the kind of mystery aspect of it, how they kind of give you clues and they don't tell you everything up front, but they kind of slowly reveal some things as the film goes on. So it is, since there's murder and kidnappings involved. We got the police as well that are fairly front and center for a film like this. And I thought they actually did a good job of portraying the police officers. A lot of times police can come across as very incompetent, but I thought they came across as being competent, but also not like your rock star cops that you'd get if they were the main characters. They're still the side characters, and yeah, I just thought that they were well done. They didn't they weren't bumbling around as a bunch of idiots. So I appreciated that. Other things, just kind of technically, I thought the editing was good. The sound design and the music were both really good. I was on the edge of my seat, I think the perfect amount, especially given that I don't like horror, but there was enough of that for me to feel uncomfortable throughout the film, but not so much, and it wasn't like the main focus. The main focus was the story and these characters and the experience that they're going through and trying to get into their mindsets and the psychology and everything there. So all of that, yeah, those were all the positives or the things that I liked about the film. There's maybe a couple things that I could think of, minor nitpicks, but that starts to get into spoilers for just a couple things that I didn't really care for, or that I thought maybe could have been fixed or were slight oversights. But those were very minor, and yeah, I would count them as basically nitpicks. So Overall, though, to kind of wrap things up, I'd highly recommend this movie. I would say it's a must see. It's one that I'd recommend to people even if they're not already going to the theaters. I think especially like this is a horror film that I actually enjoyed. So I think I was kind of on the fence between just a regular recommendation or a high recommendation. And I think the fact that I'm even in that conversation, for me, for somebody who doesn't like horror, puts it in that S tier. So I think this is an S tier movie. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it was just a well crafted movie. And I'm curious if Scott Derrickson only made this, or if like because he stepped away from the Doctor Strange 2 movie, or if he would have still made this. But my understanding is, I assume that he made this, like this is the first thing I think he's made since he stepped away from that project. But this is definitely a better movie than what we got in Doctor Strange 2. So I mean, I guess some good came from him stepping away from that film. But if you've had a chance to see this, if you yeah, the Black Phone, be sure to share your thoughts down in the comments below. Did you enjoy it as much as me? Are you already a horror fan, and did this live up to your expectations for what horror should be, and that sort of thing? So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming reviews. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next review.